Hey friends, are you in the mood for something spicy? Me too. Are you intimidated by those packages of dried peppers that you see in the ethnic food section of the grocery store? Well, you shouldn't be. I'm going to show you a recipe for homemade enchilada sauce that is going to surprise you with just how easy it is and how delicious it is in your enchiladas. Come on! We're going to start by toasting up some of our ingredients to give us more depth of flavor. So I have set my stove to medium-high heat. I am using a cast iron skillet and I am not using any oil. I am just toasting these babies up until they're nice and fragrant. We're going to start with our ancho chiles. These sound like little baby rattles because of all the dried seeds in there, and they're gonna smell really earthy, almost a little like raisins. I dropped that on the floor and I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna use it because that's the kind of person I am. All right, we're gonna let those get fragrant. We're gonna flip them. Now I gave these ancho chilies about a minute head start before I add these chile de are bowls. And then I'm gonna go ahead and toss my unpeeled garlic cloves on there. We're gonna peel it before we toss it in the blender with the other ingredients, but there's no need to fiddle with that yet. All right, we're gonna take these babies off. And then you can turn off the heat. Set your toasted vegetables to the side to cool in a medium saucepan over high heat. Bring 4 cups of chicken stock to a boil. Now while I'm waiting for my stock to boil, I'm gonna separate out my peppers into a glass container or some heat-safe container. Doesn't have to be glass. So I'm just slicing off the top of the stem, and then I'm pouring out all those little seeds on the inside before I put it in my container. Okay, so I have torn up the peppers. I really ended up just using my hands. It's pretty much the easiest way. It's not perfect. You can see there's some seeds in there. We're not gonna sweat it. We're gonna let them sweat it out, and then we're gonna put it in the blender and strain it. So no big, my stock has come to a boil. I'm gonna pour it over the peppers. This is just gonna rehydrate these peppers. Now we're gonna cover this baby with plastic wrap to allow it to steam while those peppers get all happy. And we're gonna let it sit for 30 minutes. Now go fix yourself a margarita. Okay, now to our blender, I have added our onions, our peeled garlic, and now I'm just going to add our pepper tea mixture. You're just gonna pour the liquid and everything in there, whoop, carefully. And I'm gonna add a teaspoon of ground cumin. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of ground oregano. You can use regular oregano, Mexican oregano if you have it. I'm gonna add my drained, mostly drained, can of diced tomatoes, a teaspoon of salt, and now we're just gonna blend it until it's smooth. I want a really smooth, unctuous texture. So I'm gonna use a strainer and I'm just gonna pour it through the strainer into my bowl. You especially wanna do this if you don't have a high-powered blender. It's a little thick, so you might wanna help it along a little bit with a spatula. Just kind of stirring it, pressing it through the fine mesh. You'll get there. Now we're gonna simmer our sauce. This is gonna help build that complex flavor. So in a medium saucepan over medium-low heat, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of olive oil, just to give it that silky texture. I'm gonna let that heat up for just a few seconds, and then I'm gonna add in my sauce. Now take a look at the richness here. I want you to see this texture. You hear that sizzle? It's gonna be good. We're gonna simmer this for about 30 minutes, just stirring every now and then to keep it from burning on the bottom. You might wanna turn the heat down if that begins to happen. And then you can use it for whatever you choose. Fill some enchiladas, use it for enchiladas. You can also use this as a delicious chili base. And now for the finishing touches. You're gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm gonna add just a dash of cinnamon and some chocolate chips. Not too many, maybe about a tablespoon or two. It's gonna really bring out the flavor. Stir it in, and you're finished. You are the sunshine of my life. That's why I'll always be around.